then welcome dialogue, welcome diplomacy, because we will always seek peace.
The U.S. Navy commander overseeing the Pentagon's attacks on alleged drug boats is set to testify on Capitol Hill today. Admiral Frank M. Mitch Bradley will provide a classified briefing to select congressional lawmakers about the U.S. attacks on the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. Human rights groups and
Diddy Combs for more than a year, but now the 4-part docuseries has finally premiered on Netflix. The series explores Combs' life from his upbringing, the creation of Bad Boy Entertainment, to all of the allegations of assault and sexual abuse since the 1990s, and it also investigates his alleged connection to the deaths of iconic rappers Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur, featuring insights from those close to him, witnesses from his racketeering and sex trafficking trial, and jurors who heard weeks of testimony. So we're not only going to dig into some of the biggest moments from this series, but also what Combs' legal team is doing, because they are pushing back quite hard against the whole project. Welcome.
Greetings. Welcome to Kiy NY7. Glad to have you. Glad to have me. There's been a lot going on, a lot of buzz with former rapper, now actor and producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. So 50 been coming at Diddy really hard. I was even reading an article where 50 was offered to pay $2 million to get rapper Mace on his team. He said he thought that it cost too much, blah, blah, blah. But for years since, him and Diddy just been having a lot of back and forth. Look at Diddy's tongue like, okay. So I'm going to show some things that I have put together. Everyone's free to think what, oh, not that one. That was the last stream. So if you caught me Sunday, I was talking about females being a new predator. So more and more females getting caught up in scandals and all kind of nasty stuff up in the correctional facilities. And I had a question about relationships with y'all. I'm going to pull up the new thumbnail right now. So like I said, all right, so 50 has been coming on the scene. Where is it? There's a thumbnail, right? So while he's dragging Diddy in the video that he has too, I feel like he need to be dragged. I feel like 50 need to be dragged, really. 50 Cent has domestic violence charges. 50 Cent got away with, well, we're going to allege his baby mother that's in the thumbnail there is Shaniqua Tompkins. And her and other children and some other people with 6 altogether were in that burning house that's right there in the picture. This was after an altercation with 50 Cent at her attorney's office. She said he threatened to kill her and everything. So I want to show some of that, some more recent highlights and clips, and a little bit of throwbacks to kind of just look at some things to where if we're going to talk about people, let's talk about everybody. So I consider myself a bully's bully anyway at times. And 50 Cent is a huge bully, and he has his own charges, and he has about the same charges that Diddy has, if not more, if not worse. So I want to get into some of that right now. And thanks for coming through. It's an open chat room. Greetings, Habari. Welcome to Kiy NY7.
A massage chair?
Yeah, it's my girlfriend. Here she is. She don't talk back. She keep working. This right here, my baby. She just happens to be black. And in no way was I insinuating I'm not all for interracial dating. Just want to point those things out. And she has intensities. But this is new girl that I've been looking at, I might have to get a divorce.
Oh,
I
really?
might have to get a divorce. I went to CES. They had different massage chairs and stuff like that. Yeah, because I got a chance to walk the floor the night before.
Oh,
Before
yeah?
I got there, so.
So there's a new massage chair you're interested in?
There's some cool stuff. They had the thing like an egg. You get in it, like it's like an egg, and it kind of feels where you at.
That sounds like that girlfriend has a little too much control.
Yeah, it might be. But now that I think about it.
Now we'll hear from Shaniqua. One of her latest, I think this one of the latest podcasts. Okay, it's a little while back, but hold on.
That morning wasn't so regular.
So it's just a throwback on.
That morning, he seemed very worried.
You should have shot. If you would have shot, we wouldn't have went through none of that. And I told you, yo, who that? You want to be looking. But you want to say nigga shot the gun out your hand. I can't see how a nigga shot the gun out your hand, right?
So he never had the gun in his hand.
Never had no gun in his hand.
So I didn't get in the door, the gunshots rang out. It paralyzed me. Like I just froze, like I couldn't move. Like I just could not move. What woke me up out of that trance was his grandmother. So she starts screaming my name. So I pick Marquise up and I run downstairs. I put him in the boiler room in the basement. I said, don't you move. And I proceeded to look for Boo Boo's gun. So now I'm trying to look under the bed. I'm flipping everything over, looking for the gun. So with two guns didn't let off one shot.
Exactly.
Who was to say that he would still be here? Who's to say that he would be who he...
What the fuck would we be talking about now? That don't add up. Like, no, but the shit crazy that I gotta even explain that part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
For the record, it was...
All right, so a little background with him and his first baby mama is Shaniqua. The New York judge barred 50 Cent from selling the property. Let me go back here where I can see it too. $2.4 million home where him and his ex-girlfriend lived with their son. I have the picture in the thumbnail of it being on fire. It was a big fire, really burnt most of it down. He wanted to charge her $4,500 for rent per month. She wasn't doing it. She wasn't having it. Tompkins was living with their 10-year-old at the time. Mind you, again, just days before her house was on fire while everyone was asleep. And that's what people tend to do. They want to catch you while you're asleep because honestly, that's the best way to take somebody's life, right? Your sleep. A lot of times when people don't make it out, they already had too much smoke inhalation or they just couldn't get out because they didn't even realize they was on fire because they was asleep. Suspicious fire. Now, 50 was never charged. No one was charged. But it's like, you just kind of want to use your head and with common sense. And he was like, oh, they asked him, oh, you think it was her? And he said, oh, I don't want to say something that, don't try to make me say something I don't want to say. But it's like, why did the house get on fire? You don't know nothing? He's a liar. Thank you, Pastor Geno Jennings. So he's acting like he didn't know what happened, right? But I'm bringing this up because there's a lot of women that's been tormented by 50 Cent. So for him to come out with this long dragged out, Netflix docuseries, when you have all this stuff against you. So yeah, we're gonna take it back. This was in 2008. Oh, where's my notes? This was in 2008 right here. Where his baby's mother attorney even said, where is it? Let me go in here because I read it already, but it thinks he's volumes. The real name is Curtis Jackson. Anyway, they was in the house and they almost lost their lives. So that's the point that I'm trying to make with that. I didn't realize how misogynistic he was either until I started like the very first clip I played And he has a way with women. He does. Like, even a woman he was talking to, it's like he was making her blush. You know, like it's kind of sick, but it make me wonder, like, somebody Swiss cheesed you up. Somebody done put 9 holes in you. Like, did you still have the smoke for anyone else that had anything to do with that? Because you sure troll everybody else. And then I wonder too, when people get a second chance at life, can they come back as eviler? He's been super sinister. He makes good songs. He makes great music, but he's such a hoe hopper. Like, he's got a new girl every time. You want to talk about Diddy being with an 18, 19-year-old. Cassie was been passed around. What about the one you're with right now, Jamira Haynes? She's 20 years younger than you. When you first started talking to her, she was 19, wasn't she? Oh, my fault. You telling everybody she was 20. That's still right after the teens. There was some footage too, but I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna find it, because I remembered watching it, and it was an ex-girlfriend of his, and he seemed annoyed with her. And they talked about how old she was in her teens. I'm alleging that. Until I find it, then I'll show it to more possibly prove that. Am I here? Oh, New York fire investigators, 50 Cent was very cooperative, this and that. Like I said, there were 6 people in that house, and they had to escape from the 2nd floor. So they could have gotten hurt, jump in, or however they got off that 2nd floor while the house was going up in flames. What helped save 50 from maybe possibly being a suspect is there was no evidence of anything. And he was supposedly at a movie shoot out of the state. I found him doing multiple movies throughout those 2 years, like 2008 and 2009. He was in Jersey and all these other places, but it's just too suspicious. So that's where it like starts. Then you have, where is it? Where we're at today is 50 Cent has a lawsuit against his ex saying he owns her life story rights. How do you own somebody's life story rights? She should have never gave it up to him. She signed an agreement years ago, Shaniqua, but she's doing her tell-all right now. 50 keeps stepping in to block her from doing it. But if it's all about exposure and entertainment and talking about things like why is he trying to keep her from talking so much? Like, what's the deal with him not wanting her to speak? According to an exclusive from TMZ, the rapper's publishing company lawsuit against the mother of his 28-year-old son, Marquise Jackson, claims Tompkins told stories about him online and that she signed over her rights to her life story in the past. Now she's 50, has asked the court to prevent, the 50-year-old has asked the court to prevent her from posting more social media videos, on and on and on. So they're asking for at least $1 million at trial. This is crazy. But he's got a docu-series out on Diddy right now that everybody's talking about, because y'all can't stop talking about one man. He did it. He's got the fame. He's going to stay a legend with the fame, all of that. Nothing's been really sticking to Diddy. All the big case charges, they didn't stay. He got like a few more years. He's going to be out. As described, where's the other one at? And I ain't even going there with Vivica, because I know Vivica is still sour, I think, about them having a relationship, and she's not with him no more. So she's, going to throw salt on him. That ain't even my point. He's misogynistic ladies' man. He goes from very young himself. He's got the domestic violence charges on him from that Asian, whatever she is, that he was messing with right here. He loves calling his BMs B's. Like, why are they a bitch? Back when like we had more magazines to read and stuff like that, I remember reading, it might have been Source, XXL, one of those. It was a decent magazine. He was like, my baby mother wasn't even supposed to be in the video. I hate that bitch. And I was like, he's so aggressive about his own kid's mother. Like, whoo. And this was years ago. This is a tweet. Was it a tweet or one of them things? I don't deal with a whole lot of other social media, but I will at some point, because stuff got to like get better. You know what I mean? And just for different reasons, but I'm still going to be a little cautious with this other crap. But this was on, and then it got deleted. But if you see here, oh, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. What was it, Father's Day? Little B. Oh, little bitch. You know what he's saying. I'll have full custody soon, little B. You'll be back on OnlyFans. Okay, so you done skeeted up in an OnlyFans chick, which usually they letting anybody in there that pays. That's a form of prostitution. Am I wrong? That's not a form of prostitution? If you're selling your body online and you come offline and sell it, it's prostitution. Call it what it is. Why are you worried about Diddy buying prostitutes when you having babies with prostitutes? That's something Diddy doesn't do. So I think the public is getting confused on who has good standards and who doesn't. Now, Diddy might do his freaking off and all that, but the people, the women on his arm, they know, I'm not trying to say they know their place, but they have a certain demeanor about them. He don't have problems that you have, 50. You got too many problems with your own kids and your kids' moms to be worried about everybody else. So, like he said, you'll be back on OnlyFans in no time, little B. But how is your day going, little B? Like, are you serious? So that was to Japhanie Joy, the one that had the kid with him. Now, this is the same one that got him for domestic violence. And we all show that right now. Domestic violence charges against rapper 50 Cent. Now, one of them was dropped because she said he kicked her. But, wait, why did it drop off the screen? Why did it drop off the screen? Oh, man, I gotta make sure I check the audio. Why did it drop off the screen? Curtis Jackson, known as 50 Cent, has been accused of domestic violence stemming from an incident late June. What year was this again? We'll get into the year in a minute. I'm trying to find it. The house fire was 2008. And your boy went bankrupt. Let's not forget, you went bankrupt in 2015 too. After all that money that you had, that you earned from doing great rap songs, you still went bankrupt. That happens to people, but that happens to people that have issues. You should have been okay. You busy talking about everybody else, but you done hit rock bottom plenty of times. Just because you bounce back up like a ball doesn't mean you got the right to just keep going in on other people. Like, that's his job since he stopped rapping, is being king of trolls, a king troll. Bullet holes like a Swiss roll, all them 9 shots you took, but you worried about other people. When the girl you with now was born, what, November 94? She was born November 94. Hold on. That's the same year I got the mugshot on my in the thumbnail. When you was out here still committing crimes, you got charged, convicted for selling heroin and cocaine, right? Crack cocaine. While you was busy doing that, she was just being born. So who we really talking about? Like, what are we doing? My throat is dry. So again, the charges that was filed against him from his other kid's mother, last name Joy. I like to say people's first names, makes it a little bit easier, but Daphne. He faced 5 years in prison, but she let go of the other one, or they let it go, about the physical abuse that she claimed, because she claimed he kicked her. But other than that, it was more like throwing stuff around, breaking stuff, or doing whatever. That's still violence. So if you're destroying something around the house, you're angry, that's violence. She said you put your hands on, or where you kicked her. So I'm like, was it a mistake? Because it didn't stick. Oh, we can go back to here.
The Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Right now, Sean Diddy Combs is locked up in a New Jersey prison cell, serving a 4-year sentence after he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution during his very high-profile federal trial earlier this year. A jury acquitted him of the top charges in the indictment, conspiracy to engage in racketeering, as well as 2 counts of sex trafficking. Now, the allegations against Combs, they have dominated the headlines since November of 2023. That's when his ex, Cassandra Ventura Fine, filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the music mogul, claiming he abused her during their 10-year relationship. And since then, He's not only faced this criminal trial, but also dozens of civil lawsuits that were filed on behalf of alleged victims. And many of the lawsuits include claims of sexual misconduct and rape and more. But to be clear, Combs and his legal team, they have adamantly denied any and all accusations of wrongdoing. Since Combs' arrest at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan in September of 2024, there have been several documentaries that have been released about the rapper's rise to the top of the music industry. There have been shows about his trial, but one of the most anticipated retrospectives is from a reportedly years-long rival of Combs, rapper Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent. He is the executive producer of this project, initially teasing it with the title Diddy Do It, but the series was retitled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. It was released on Netflix on December 2nd, and it has skyrocketed to the top of the charts. In fact, 50 Cent posted on his Instagram on Wednesday, #1 on Netflix. You know, if you really like this docuseries, I'll make more, LOL. Now, the documentary's director, Alexandra Stapleton, said in a
All right, he'll make more docuseries, LOL, and we can have docuseries on you too, 50, because you're not clean. And I ain't talking about how dirty your eggplant is, because that's a whole nother story. Because he runs through women. He ran through so many women. You still got women lined up. Y'all can have it. Docuseries against and he's, like I said, he's keeping his own baby mother, the first one, against her releasing her documentary, because it would violate an agreement she signed from 2 decades ago. Why did she sign an agreement? But then some people get those. I'm trying to think if it's BM, they call it something. Is it BM? Not BMI. Something where you can sign something when you're dealing with somebody that's in the public eye and they're an entertainer. So they have you sign something, right? But she shouldn't have done. But she still's been producing, and she's been trying to get it out there. And they might end up in court again, I'm thinking, because he wants to sue her if she does. And she's very adamant about getting this out, because she's like, you've been getting away with domestic violence yourself. You've been getting away with a lot of stuff going on with you, and she's never going to let go. Who would? Your house sets on fire after she alleged that he threatened her life, 50 threatened her life. And it was after he had an incident at her attorney's office. So it's just like things kept happening right within a week span, but he don't know nothing. So that's the part where we're like, what?
statement to Billboard, quote, "This isn't just about the story of Sean Combs or the story of Cassie or the story of any of the victims or the allegations against him or the trial. Ultimately, this story is a mirror reflecting us as the public and what we are saying when we put our celebrities on such a high pedestal. I hope this documentary is a wake-up call for how we idolize people and to understand that everybody is a human being." Okay, but here's the thing. Just one day before the series was set to air, Combs' attorneys sent a cease and desist letter to the streaming giant, calling the documentary essentially a hit piece, demanding it be removed. Now we're going to take a closer look at that letter, the arguments that Combs' team.
That's fine. I want to skip to where he starts accusing Diddy of having something to do with Pac and Biggie's murder. Where was that at? It came up quick when I didn't see this whole thing yet, but where is it? Did I skip past? Anyway, he accuses him of having something to do with the murders. It's starting to feel more and more like 50 wants Diddy killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between the trolling he does a lot. We can laugh about some of it, or whatever. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of 50, his behaviors. I'm tired of the fact that I know what I know about his past and his present. You not clean enough to throw rocks at somebody else, dirt on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? When you go to court and say you have a case against someone, you can't have dirty hands too when you charging somebody. Like, some people come to court, they doing crimes, but they want to sue somebody else doing crime. Same thing. So that's how I look at stuff like this, trolling or not. Your hand's not clean. Like, at all. Nothing's clean. And if people feel like, okay, well, 50 better than what he did, no, he's not. And either way, if you're really looking at everything and you're not doing favoritism or being biased, you have to see that they both have had issues in their past. But 50, you've done the same thing. You've dated not underage. You've dated extremely young women, women that can't drink. You got your homegirl on there doing her drugs on your live stream. So it's just like, what is going on? The other part that I had on here too is for Hegseth and the U.S. A lot going on with Venezuela. A lot is just going on with the U.S. period, and Hegseth and the war crimes. I'm gonna get into that too. As far as war crimes, when it comes to war, I would think anything goes. I'm gonna get back to the Diddy and 50 too. I kind of did an intro showing both to show what I'm gonna be talking about. I dealt with 50, Diddy, and the baby mama. Well, Shaniqua. Now with the war crimes. Hegseth was under the radar because the second they struck the Venezuelans again and weren't supposed to, they said, as long as they're not a threat. If you feel they're a threat, just being on the boat with the drugs, and they're still a threat. So I don't know why people's heartstrings are being pulled when it feel like it, but it's not really making sense to me. War is war. And we may not really be at war, but we are at war. It's a war on the drugs, right? So what are you supposed to do? I'm wondering, what do the people expect? I don't want to see bloodshed. But when you're at war and you telling this country to cut it out, you're telling this country we're going to get you if you try. If you keep sending these people over here, they know what the consequences are. But now we have the U.S. under scrutiny because they feel we're playing hardball too much with the war on drugs. But it's like, how? When it's a war on drugs? Are we supposed to play softball with the war? I'm trying to understand it. Even though Hegseth quickly pointed, you're shirtless, he pointed to the Admiral, because I thought it was a different person. I wrote his name down. But anyway, okay. Pointed to him about it. And he's been quiet. So we're still just waiting to hear back, because if they keep saying that they were wrong, then they committed an actual crime, a war crime. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on with that anyway. So that's pretty that's got a lot going on with that. Hegseth, as far as I've been seeing, is doing what he's supposed to be doing. I'm like, what are we missing here? And then, according to the Hill and possibly other sources, they said that Hegseth, quote unquote, said kill everybody. Like he's just like a force to be reckoned with. He's just like, get them all. And then it's like, okay, we're sending mixed messages to other people too. Are we going too far with our fighting back, or to quote unquote make America great again? Or, are we just self-sabotaging over here? So it's just questions that I know I have, and maybe some of y'all have it too. But what is expected of the U.S. is just what I'm kind of trying to understand, because it's like it seems to keep going both ways. Josh Johnson is so funny.
I'm Josh Johnson.
Oops. All right. I didn't like earlier when I just first started. I had something up and then it just dropped right off. That I don't know what was going on with that. But I'm gonna do a redo. Gotta kind of like get these things kind of going and get them on track. But I do have information put together that a little more with the Diddy thing and all that. And I'm not saying Diddy is innocent of everything, no, but what he has done, he done it with consenting adults. I'm not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he shouldn't have brought prostitutes. All right, fine, he'll get it. But what about everybody else? Like, y'all full of crap. Full of crap. If prostitution always has been here, it will still be here. There's too many people that want to buy, and just like, will you just it's like, just stop it. So like Law and Crime pointed out, I'm kind of jumping around just a bit, but the with the Diddy situation, they're saying that, Diddy was like, no, like, don't put it out, this and that. But 50 Cent is doing the same thing. Days before he dropped the documentary, he looked nice there, very sharp. Days before the documentary, he's telling his Shaniqua, don't put this documentary out on him. And he said, I'm going to sue you for $1 million. So come on. They're both doing the same thing. You can't, if you're going to call somebody out, call Diddy out, we got to call Jackson out. I don't know what y'all talking about. No, 50, you got to stop trying to come for everybody. And it feel like you're trying to get that man killed. Why are you bringing up Tupac and Biggie Smalls? You know what I'm saying? There was never much proof on anything. Then I heard you had a crackhead doing the whole intro to your docuseries. What are you talking about? I just feel like if you're gonna point the finger, you got to really point it. You know, the picking and choosing who we're gonna ride with. This is the house. Come on, Mark. That's probably why I figured why Marquise don't trust you now, because they almost died in that house. Why would that happen? And if not, you should have saw to it to make sure you found out who did it. This is just not just your kid's mother. Your kid lives there too, 50. Why was his house ablaze like this after you threatened her and she alleged, and then after you made a big scene, they said it was a dangerous incident with 50 Cent at her attorney's office, and then this happens when he's out of town, when he's supposedly out of town. So y'all tell me, I mean, come on. Really? This is why she's still heated, because she's been staying quiet. And sometimes she's been trying to be heard, and I guess people you're not listening. Come on now. 50 got way too much going on with him. Way too much. Then with Joy, like it's woman after woman. But you want to focus on Diddy and his one incident. That's what he want to do.
His history with Biggie and Tupac and insinuations there, and kind of going a little bit deeper into his upbringing and his career, a little bit further beyond what a lot of other people have covered.
By the way, yeah, we're talking cease and desist letter here, potential legal action, maybe financial repercussions. You might not relate to all this. Let me tell you something that a lot of Americans relate to. Credit card debt. Okay, this is real. This isn't an accident. Every call, every fee, every...
But again, you forget there's a videographer in the room. So when you think about attorney-client communications, yes, that's usually covered under privilege. But if you have a third party that you're inviting into those communications, that's not necessary, unless the person is an interpreter or maybe an accountant. If you have a videographer that's there not for legal reasons, you can make that argument that, the privilege is waived.
And by the way, that...
Now, before I step out, in New York State, you can record any conversation you want, especially in public. Everyone has rights all across America. Anywhere in public, you can video record. Wherever public has access, you can video record and or audio record. You have that right. Now, when it's in the privacy of a home or private area, by law, you have to be the one involved in whatever's going on, and you can record it, or only one is needed. One of the participants involved in whatever it is, talking, whatever the activity is, as long as someone involved knows someone is listening in, eavesdropping, or recording, that is legal. So I just want to make that point. So there's a gray area where 50 Cent has taken videography, like you said, and put it into the documentary, but it's a slippery slope with it, because there's some things that you don't have a right to basically repost or show it to the public and whatnot. So it's tough with that, but we'll see what happens, because Diddy's still not going to let go. It's on there and everything. We get that, but it's still going to be so much back and forth. And what I do enjoy about it is some people are stepping up and wanting to learn more about the law. I've been learning about law since I was young, and it's something that everybody needs to know, because of course, if you violate, you're in trouble regardless. Ignorance to the law doesn't apply. If something happened and you didn't realize it was against the law, you still can get charged for it and possibly convicted of it. So now it's a question to what did 50 Cent really have rights to when it came to republishing the things that he's putting out there on Diddy. But I just had to make that point that 50, you're not clean, bro. Like you're really not at all. And I know I didn't want to stand by and just be quiet about it, because there's just several reasons that I'm just honestly, I'm just tired of the Diddy thing, and he's in jail already. And it's like, a lot of people are treating him like he really did something, or like he hurt your feelings. People been hating on Diddy for so long when nothing was going on. They're just like, why he dance so much? He always in a video. I loved it. I finally get to see somebody getting their own videos. We love music. Who don't like to dance? Like, it's always something. But when you on the verge of getting this man killed, like, you going too far. Like, I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel like he's going too far, and he needs to shut up and sit down somewhere, because there's nothing clean about you. Your eggplant, your feet, like, nothing. They reconstructed this man after he almost lost his life, and what he chose to do with it was be a great rapper and stop and just be a great troller. That's all he's become. All of his his series, or somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't watched none of them, but I know it's just about Black people with dealing drugs, Black people with extreme personalities, over sexualizing Black people. Like, we're tired of it. I know I am. Give us something fresh. You're not doing nothing fresh. For some reason, our people feed off of agony. We feed off of glorifying criminals. We all do it. And then you want to do a docu-series saying, yo, you need to, you know what I'm saying? He asked to take me shopping. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, man. So I think he was just trying to, he was just trying to test me out. Like, you're not even his type.
That conversation, the actual context of it, it's something that we always were thinking was going on behind the scenes. There was a sense of frustration about how the media and social media was portraying Diddy and the narrative, and he was like, we're losing. And he was getting a bit combative with Mark Agnifilo about what was going on. And he's like, look, I did everything. You said I'm basically an ideal client, a star client. I did everything you want. I came to New York. And like, he was just waiting to see if he would be arrested and indicted. And that was like a bit of tension there, which it's a rare behind the scenes glimpse of what those conversations and what those moments are between an accused and their defense attorney before the hammer drops.
Yes, very rare. And that's, I think, one of the things that struck me and what a lot of people are talking about. Again, you don't usually get a window into that. I think the push and pull was, in the conversation, Mark Agnifilo had said, look, an indictment hasn't been dropped yet. The indictment came down September 16th of last year. And Mark Agnifilo had said it's mid-September at that point. So I think the indictment was really just about to drop. So at that point, you have Diddy, who, he said, look, I've come to New York. I've basically surrendered. His legal team is taking the position you have to cooperate and kind of show that you're here ready to take this head on. But then Diddy's sort of saying, we need to get someone out there on the comms front, as somebody who is, in his words, has dealt with the dirty side of media and propaganda. So I think what Diddy was trying to say was, there's nothing to be done legally on the criminal front because no indictment had been dropped yet. But in the court of public opinion, it seemed like he wanted to take a more aggressive approach to put a certain message out there. And his attorney seemed to kind of think the opposite. Right.
And just to be clear, so the documentary begins with this shot of Combs in his hotel room in New York. This is, I believe, just 6 days before his arrest last year. Turns out Combs had hired this videographer to film him while he's in New York. The documentary's producers got their hands on this footage, and he's talking on speakerphone with Mark Agnifilo, this high-powered attorney, who is, by the way, just one of several lawyers he would have on his multi-person legal team, and says that more needs to be done to help his public image, that it appeared to him like they were losing. And remember, again, this is before he was officially indicted and arrested.
Well, I guess there should be more to come, but there, like I showed, 50 Cent has a lot from his past. He got his domestic violence. He's got his other stuff going on too. So I want to see more exposure. I mean, have fun with it then. Everybody, like, to be trying to expose someone when you have so many skeletons like hanging around your closet, it just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. And if people eat it up, but the courts are going to have the last say. And I just like for everybody to keep that same energy, watch who's saying what about who, and see if they switch up when more the actual truth comes out, or when you guys really sit back and say, okay, what are we really listening to? Are we just listening to somebody else that could be monster-like, that has more ill intentions going on, and we're listening to him talk about him? You committed worse stuff. You know what? They didn't prove he burnt that house down, but come on, man. She know nobody else was after them. Come on, your son was in that house. And you don't care about your son now. You told him that, Marquise, if he's because your teeth, you won't open your mouth. We tired. No, we're not doing this. You're getting away with way too much. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is crazy. All this going on, but y'all want to forget all of this and then just show the docuseries? All right, we got you. We got you. I just want to do that as a reflection of it. At some point, I'm going to dig back in it too and bring information out to share about some of the things that I'm seeing that's what's going on that I know I remember about 50's past, and then some things that are coming up now. So, I mean, it's on the people, but it's really on the courts. So if you really think he got something, then we're gonna have to see, what's going on. The other part of everything was let's go to this. Which I went over war crimes. Do you feel like we are committing war crimes? Are we going too far with the war on drugs? Is it anything goes when it comes to war? That's how I think. That's how I always operated. I'm someone that was interested in the Navy myself when I was younger. And war is war, so it's just kind of strange that war has rules. They're like, no, that goes against the rules. You can't just blow them up if they were struggling. It's like, but you just blew the boat up. Right, but if you see them struggling, you don't blow them up individually. Just blow the whole boat. You sending mixed messages to everyone. Unless someone wants to, speak up and say, no, there are rules and there should be or something. I'm still not feeling it, but what are we doing here? This makes no sense to me. I'm usually able to make sense of things. It's not making any sense. How far is too far? So they're saying that some of the members of the Venezuelan family of the deceased have been putting out claims. So I think what they're basically saying is they want to file a suit because they feel like what occurred with the boat should have never happened.
Use of the widely available social media app Signal to discuss U.S. airstrikes in Yemen earlier this year. Two people familiar with the report's findings told news outlets Hegseth endangered U.S. troops in using Signal to discuss the strikes with several other senior Trump administration officials. The chat, which included Hegseth's wife and brother, was revealed when The Atlantic's editor, Jeffrey Goldberg, was accidentally added to the Signal group. Defense Secretary Hegseth refused to cooperate with the Inspector General, refusing to hand over his phone or sit for an interview.
Yeah, they was out of pocket being on Signal, running their mouth like that and making a mistake and adding someone that blew a spot up. But other than that, everything that's been moving forward as far as foreign affairs, of course, not the disrespect to Somalia. There's something going on with that. I'm Africa always. As far as the other things that are going on, I want to skip a little ahead because that was from the past too. But I guess I see what they're doing. I'm not going to knock them. I'm going to let it play because I don't want to seem like I'm being biased just to prove my point because I'm not. I can prove it regardless.
This comes as the New York Times is suing the Pentagon over its new...
By the way, feel free to chat. It does help. Going live is so that people can have everything in real time. You're sharing energy. You're sharing this sphere we got going on. Feel free to chat. Do something. Not fine, but if you could find, there's ways to support the channel. If you're interested, plenty of ways free.
Press policy that requires media outlets to pledge not to gather information unless defense officials formally authorize its release. Earlier this year, reporters at the New York Times, along with a number of other media outlets, gave up their press passes rather than comply with the Pentagon's new policy. The Times argues in its lawsuit that the Pentagon's policy, quote, is exactly the type of speech and press restrictive scheme that the Supreme Court and D.C. Circuit have recognized violates the First Amendment, unquote. Israeli forces have killed 7 more Palestinians in the Gaza Strip in Israel's latest violation of...
And then we have Israel. They've been out of pocket for years now. Maybe some people are finally waking up. The Young Turks have been trying to wake up for a minute now. You can have a love for all people, but you have to open your eyes to what's really going on and who's really the culprit out here. Any new people, I appreciate you. I do ask for people to engage. That's really the point of live streams. I don't expect that really from old people, because if they were supportive, they would have been supporting me. So I just look forward to the new people and people that maybe from the past, but didn't, maybe coming back around, or, that willing to participate. That's really what's needed, not just sitting, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know why some of y'all are like that. It's just interesting to me. But y'all got so much to talk about on channels that leave you nothing. They leave you empty most of the time. You know what I mean? But you feel good about yourself supporting them in some kind of way, even chat, whatever. So it's just interesting. But I take notes on everything, and I'll remember that too. But those that have, you're appreciated, and you will continue to be appreciated. And there we go with that. So we don't know what's really next. It's always it keeps being something, right? There's always been something going on with in the news and things like that. So it's just always something going on. But I really want them to get to the bottom of the, when they blew those people up in Venezuela, because if they are totally wrong about it, they're going to have to find a way to prosecute them in some kind of way. Hegseth and who's it, the admiral? I'm not sure about the admiral. They kind of pointed to the admiral, but he said he didn't think it was okay. Like, it's just finger pointing and all that, and the boats blowing up. It's just like, all right, just get this straight, so that we can just have stuff straight. There's just way too much fighting within the country, and where we need to fight other countries, it looks like, or at least show some resilience against things. And like I've said before, drugs are always going to be here. They was here in the beginning. The Nazis had it. They were some of the first ones with cocaine, and then they started giving it to their slaves. Americans slaved out Black people, and when they did, they gave them cocaine. You're not going to hear it too many other places. But when I get that too, it was either the History Channel or it was A&E. I'm going to find it, and I had a hard time finding it, but I watched it for myself. It was probably like almost 20 years ago, how much cocaine influenced slavery, because they want you to work harder. Masters, they're idiots. Something wrong with them, obviously, right? So there's a lot of history with drugs, though, is my point. And it's never really going to go anywhere. It grows naturally, some of it. It's just that the drugs that they're pushing now are just knocking people out. They're not coming back. So however you look at it, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. The fentanyl, over the years, we started out, the world started out with, like I said, cocaine. And then from cocaine, people were doing like the speed. And then they had the meth. And then it's like every 5 to 10 years, it's like there's a graduate of the drug. If you look at the statistics on it, every 5 to 10 years, there's a stronger drug that gets produced. So that's something that's it's strange. It's something that's happening, and it's something that just continues to happen. So with all these wars going on, everything else, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but the drugs they got now is just a no-go. It's not, and I'm not saying pure cocaine, because pure cocaine is pure cocaine. People been doing it. Nobody really, I mean, there's certain drugs that people just do. There's officials that do these drugs, and it's just a lot. So just wanted to break some of the things down and just share my thoughts on it, because 50 just running reckless with it. And I think he's just a reckless person, and he needs to be talked about too. And if you want to keep exposing people, I'm going to expose you too. Sometimes I'm a bully's bully. 50 Cent got people scared. Are y'all scared of 50? What's to be scared of? Is fair game, right? So come on now. 50, you have a dirty, disgusting past. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah. When Shaniqua gets her docuseries out, we're going to be checking that out. Because actually, if you do sue her for $1 million, she can make more than that off the docuseries, possibly. So she should weigh out her figures, because maybe it'll be worth it. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. I think that'll be my time. Should I do an hour? Just got 10 more minutes. My throat is. I'm not used to coming on later, so sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm gonna test out coming in a little later at times. See how it's working out. But I'll just show a little more clips as we close on it.
Goldmeyer said, quote, "The footage was created for an entirely different purpose under an arrangement that was never completed, and no rights were ever transferred to Netflix. A payment dispute between outside parties does not create permission for Netflix to use unlicensed private material. None of this footage came from Mr. Combs or his team, and its inclusion raises serious questions about how it was obtained and why Netflix chose to use it." Now, Elizabeth, we're going to talk more about what Combs' legal team has to say in this cease and desist letter, but what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's hard to say because there's still such a big question mark in the air because, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, is one of the executive producers on the series. Him, the director, Netflix in general, is not saying where they got this footage, only that it was obtained legally. Diddy's side is saying this is coming from a videographer I hired. I know we'll get into the cease and desist. One of the arguments they make is, this is subject to NDAs or agreements that the videographer had signed with Diddy because he was, employed by Diddy, and therefore the footage belongs to Diddy. That's the argument that they're making. So it's difficult to say because Netflix is not really saying how or where they got this footage from. One of the things that they did say was that it was sent to them legally. So, if you have the videographer sending the footage to them physically, that would be fine, but it does leave a question mark about where the legal rights are coming from. The only really avenue I see is if there's some way that the videographer had obtained a license for the footage, then the videographer would have the ability to take that license and then transfer the footage over to Netflix. But if the footage belongs to Diddy, then that's a little bit tough.
That's a good point. Okay, let's keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in a minute. I do want to talk about the content of the series. So the series featured interviews with many people who were at one point in Combs' inner circle. This includes Aubrey O'Day, who was a member of the girl group Danity Kane, which was created on Combs' MTV show Making the Band. She has since accused Combs of basically grooming her, firing her for refusing to give in to his alleged sexual advances.
Now, let me chime in on this. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I watched every bit of Making the Band and after, because they went in on, well, what are they up to now? We had Making of the Band, and then they followed them for a bit, and everybody started to fall off except really Danity Kane. Think about what really happened with the member of Danity Kane. I remember she did a photo shoot where she would pose nude for Playboy. When she posed for Playboy, Diddy kicked her off the team. Where are we getting she didn't give in to his propositions versus him letting her go when she posed for Playboy? He didn't agree with it, and I don't know what his other reasons were. And if he did like her, I didn't know nothing about it. But he made the statement that she posed for Playboy, so he let her go. Now think about that. Now, all of a sudden, that's right, point that finger back at them. Now, all of a sudden, she started making this story up that was never there before. And if that was true, why didn't she bring it up before? If somebody tells me I'm fired her because she went and did this with Playboy, if I know it had more to do with some other stuff, I'm going to bring that up. Why am I going to let you just drag me for wanting to slut it out in a picture for Playboy? You know what I'm saying? If this was if there was anything to it, why was it never brought up? Like, y'all not making sense.
We have Albie Shore, singer, songwriter, former record executive, dated Kim Porter before she was in a relationship with Combs. There's Roger Bonds, one of Combs' apparent former bodyguards, who's gone on the record to say that he knew Combs was allegedly physically violent with his then girlfriend, Cassie. At one point in his interview with the documentary's producers, he said of Combs, "When I first met him, I liked him as a person because I didn't know him." You have Kalina Harper, who was part of Combs' group Diddy Dirty Money, released a statement supporting him after the third member of that group, Dawn Richard, had filed a lawsuit against Combs. And in the documentary, Combs can be heard calling Harper to complain about the lawsuit, asking her to put out a statement. A former friend, business partner of Combs who appears throughout the documentary is Kirk Burroughs, the co-founder of Bad Boy Records. The two apparently worked very closely together for years. Burroughs served as the general manager, handling the rapidly growing company's funds. And according to Burroughs, when they started Bad Boy, Burroughs was given a 25% stake in the company, with the other 75% being in Combs' mother's name, Janice Combs' name. And we're going to get more into why Burroughs alleges it was set up that way in just a second. But according to Burroughs, Combs allegedly threatened him in 1996 with a baseball bat, forcing him to sign over his stake. So Burroughs apparently sued in 2003. The lawsuit was thrown out because too much time had passed since the alleged incident. And more recently, Burroughs sued Janice Combs for fraud, Combs himself for sexual harassment. This is according to a report from Cinemaholic. And those appear to be ongoing, by the way. Now, Burroughs claims that he was blacklisted from the entertainment industry, led to periods of homelessness. He's since re-entered the music industry, starting Pop Life Entertainment in 2018. This is also...
All right, move. Okay, thank you. All right, it's different now too. I'm wondering how it appears monetized, like so, the type of commercials they doing and how that affects things. Okay. Well, anyway, be back on when I do, and got some interesting stuff coming up in astronomy too, which is another thing, a topic that I do enjoy talking about here. Had to chime in on the Diddy thing because everybody's just dragged. I like everybody has so much to say too. And I was one of the few people that spoke out against many of the allegations. And then y'all found out finally for yourselves that it was a bunch of crap. On the other hand, we have things going on with astronomy too. Some more updates on 3i Atlas too. So I'm looking forward to some of that and gathering information. And then I'll probably pop up, see y'all on the weekend or whatever. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And if there's some things that y'all would like to see content on too, I don't mind suggestions. If there's something that you may have had an interest in or something, or whatever it is, or a question or something I can help with, that would be interesting for me too. So yeah. So again, 50 Cent stopping his first baby mother, Shaniqua, from doing a documentary against him just days before he dropped the docuseries on Netflix against Diddy. So things is getting down and dirty. And in the war crimes, we're going to keep hearing more updates on that because they're trying to figure out, was it really wrong? Well, yeah, it was wrong, but where did we go wrong? Who told them to shoot them people up? So it's just, ugh. So we'll see what happens. And then also, President Trump was saying that certain Venezuela airways that he wants to have control over, and they're like, why? So it's just, it seems like more wars are going on. That's what's going on. But now we're seeing war crimes being exposed amongst the actual wars that are going on too. So we do have that too. Again, I have a different perspective on things. Some are similar to others, but sometimes they're not. And I do like to express myself and show why. These are some of my thoughts and how I feel about things, and I invite yours. Yeah, and that should do it. Okay. Appreciate y'all time. That did give me some time on here, so at least I could say thank you for that. I didn't participate in anything that I know of, but thanks for coming through. I'm Kiy NY7. On this channel, I talk about things to do with the community, mainly of melanated people. I talk about things to do with astrology and astronomy, and I call it astros. Things to do with intimacy. I was mainly sexuality, but there's be careful with, things and talking on here or whatever. But yeah, things to do with, I feel like things are just underrated, and just kind of, shining light on those things too, and get some conversation going sometimes on, how we look at relationships of ourselves, and or those around us. So if you're interested in things like that and you're new, hope to see you and or feel you back. And old people too, always appreciate it. Thanks again. It's Kiy NY7. Be safe. Peace. Greetings, Habari. Welcome to Kiy NY7.
Kiy NY7.
Al Green. Okay. I'm so in love with you. Oh, whatever you want to do. Shut the fuck up! Hey! What, Tony? It's all right with me. Cause you.
Oh, thank you.